Idaho Innovation Center, taking your business to the next level. The Idaho Innovation Center is a business incubator located in eastern Idaho, providing resources to companies where entrepreneurs can confidently and aggressively start and grow their small business through collaboration, education, mentoring, and shared resources. Here's what some tenants of the Idaho Innovation Center have said. The classes they hold at the Idaho Innovation Center have proven to be invaluable for my business and its growth. The Idaho Innovation Center has given my business the support when needed in areas of business strategy, marketing, networking, and growth opportunities. An innovative tenant said, "The training and mentoring has helped us accomplish things we would never have done on our own. Thank you." And a technology client said, "The Idaho Innovation Center has been a perfect partner for our startup. The staff is focused on taking business to the next level, and we have." And finally, I would recommend the Idaho Innovation Center as the best resource to either start or grow your business in eastern Idaho. The Idaho Innovation Center, stimulating entrepreneurial spirit and innovation through business growth and development in eastern Idaho. At the Idaho Innovation Center, entrepreneurs can confidently grow their business through networking and educational opportunities with experienced business professionals. There is access to many free amenities, including one-on-one business mentoring and advising through the Small Business Development Center, conference room usage, and reception services. Everything we do at the Idaho Innovation Center is designed to help keep costs down and energy up for growth-oriented businesses.
Let the Idaho Innovation Center take your business to the next level.
Welcome to the Business Boys Talkin-Business show with your hosts, Brian Magleby and Tyler Price.
Hey,
We look, your picture is right above you, and
it's
my
almost
picture's
like
right above me.
Tyson knows what he's doing.
Jeez, look at that.
Wow. So that was either just a fluke or Tyson.
We kind of planned it that way.
Tyson does know what he's doing.
That's right. So anyway, welcome to some Talkin' Business.
It's
Have we
2023.
ever had a show like this?
No.
No, we haven't. So we decided that we're in the process of making some big changes with some Talkin' Business.
There we go.
So we just wanted to have a show that we could recap last year.
Yeah, we had some great guests, I thought, all year long, really strong guests. You were sitting there writing a list.
I got a whole list.
Are you
we're
reading
just
them
talk
all
about
off?
some of them.
Yeah.
You know, we're so casual today, I didn't even spit out my gum to make the show.
Yeah.
And we don't have a frame in front of us.
No.
We're just here talking business. And but let's talk about 2022.
Yeah, I'm glad it's over.
Me too.
Yeah, it was an okay year.
It was a good year.
I mean, it's always good,
Yeah.
right? But looking forward to challenges of 2023 and the wins and everything else, right?
It is. But let's kind of I pulled some people and said, what were some of your favorite shows? And one of them was the Heath Treasure from Super T Transport.
Yeah.
That guy, you know, I will openly admit, and Heath, if you're watching the show, I'm just gonna throw it all out there on the table. When he said in his bio, there was he put a lot of, I would say, pretty boastful things on there.
Good for him.
But when he came in, talk about humble guy.
Yeah, he's just someone that knows what he is and who he is and what he stands for, and started out just by himself and turned it into something amazing.
And that's what
cool.
he said in there, that he was a blue collar. He's a truck driver.
Yeah.
And he's turned it into being, and what he put on there was I was blue collar to multimillionaire.
Yeah.
And if you can back it up, why not brag about it?
But I think that's great and speaks to that because there's a lot of blue collar labor out there needed that people aren't willing to go do because they don't think that it's good. But it's like, no, we got lists and lists of people who started out and just got after it, and he being one of them.
Yep.
So
we're going to actually, because that was one of our most popular shows, we're going to air that again today, right after we talk about some of the exciting things that we have going. But we're going to wrap up 2022. So let's go through and talk about Gary Stewart, IE Productions.
Yeah. That was.
Can I just tell you a little story about Gary?
That was here, you know.
This guy, yes, we graduated high school together, so I've known Gary since we were in junior high. But after the show, If you see a car driving around town that says does 185, there's an old song that used to be
By the Eagles,
my
right?
Maserati does 185. So if you see a Maserati driving around town and that has a license plate does 185,
Yeah.
that's his. And guess who got to go for a ride? And then he let me drive that Maserati. That was. I like that show just because that's what happened after the show.
See, he's a better friend. I don't let you drive my bug.
Your 67 bug.
Yeah.
You won't let me. I've gone for a few rides,
Yeah.
but I'll tell you, this Maserati, it's just a little bit step above the 67 bug.
Oh, I don't know about that. Fast-wise, yes.
Yes.
But, yeah.
Class-wise, yeah. So, anyway, Gary Stewart. Let me just go through a couple of them that I have here. Rick Amond, CEI, doing some amazing things
stuff
out there.
Yep. We'll be talking about more coming here soon,
Yep,
right?
we got some big things coming. We're going to have someone from CEI that will probably be talking about that in the future. Christy Carlquist, man, she's doing some amazing things.
Yeah, she really is doing like starting out new business ventures that she's bringing to the area. That she only knows one speed, and that's go.
It is,
So,
and 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
I don't know when that lady ever sleeps. So, Dutch with Action Motorsports, what an amazing story. He's just kind of taken that, we probably didn't get into it much on the show, but man, he's had some health scares. That guy knocked on death's door with some cancer, and I think we talked just a little bit about it, but the reality is that, he's doing amazing things there at Action. Kent Lott, Royal Theaters,
yeah, him and
his
Brandon.
boy.
Yeah, those cool guys doing great things for our community and having a good time doing it.
Yep, doing great. Brandon Bird with the State Fair. It was great to have him on. We'll look forward to having him. A couple of our biggest shows, and the next one that was the kind of the most popular was let's see here.
Mountain America Credit.
Mountain America. We had Rob Spear and Eric Hudson on there,
Yep.
and we did the broadcast, the show live. That was one
Live,
of our
that
biggest
was
watch
awesome.
shows.
We got to probably do that again.
We do.
Yeah.
Have you been to a hockey game yet?
I have not.
Oh!
But I see it posted regularly. We've been to a concert,
Yep.
right?
Mm-hmm. Great facility.
Yeah, it really is.
Absolutely great. The one I was going to talk about is the Inventor Show that we did.
Oh, that was awesome.
Yeah, that was in fact, we're gonna preview that one next week. We've got a special guest lined up for next week that's going to come in and talk about. We'll kind of talk about that in the intermix here. But Christine Garner will be here next week. But this Inventor Show, it was the most different show. We had a platform of 4 inventors that came on the show.
And shared what they had done, and I was actually dealing with a hot water heater at one of our businesses and thinking about our inventor that invented how to clean out hot water heaters. So
doing really well, very good success story. So the Inventor Show, we're gonna show that one next week, and then we'll kind of talk about the shows in the coming weeks here at the end. So. But that was one of our biggest ones. We had Rod Furness, state representative.
Yeah, Rod's a great guy doing great things and works hard because there are people that go over there and do good things, but Rod goes in with a purpose and has put a lot of things.
He gets paid, I think, for the work he does for like 3 months, but he's working 12 months of the year doing that. So it's a minor wage I'll tell you, these state representatives have for that. Catherine Smith with the Idaho Falls Downtown, doing some great things down here in downtown Idaho Falls. I just listed a very few. We had 50 shows.
It was awesome.
In 2022. So
great people.
So great. If you haven't watched any of these shows, that's why we have them in our library on Talkin-Business. Encourage you to go take a look at them and see some of those. Those are just some of the highlights that I just quickly scrolled through. But there's many more that we could talk about.
Yeah. So what's new?
So that's to be determined. Let's talk about some classes that we have coming up next week. Next week on Tuesday, we're starting these new classes. We have a lot of people that want to attend, but they're busy during the week. So we've made some classes available virtually, going back to pretending like it was COVID. So, but these are all going to be through Zoom, and they're free classes. And we're starting them out. They're going to be 9 months of the year. We take the summers off from classes. We try to. We've booked a couple, but we're going to take June, July, and August off. But these are going to be free classes. They'll be through Zoom. And the one thing we do ask is that you do have a camera. We just don't want you, 15 kids in the background. We just want you to know that you're tuned in. We'd ask that you have a camera on these. But next week we have a class on goal setting. And is there any better month than January to do that?
There's a lot of people setting them. I know the gym is super busy right now. I was in
Today
there.
was the busiest day at the gym, I heard.
I was in there doing my stuff and I hope people forget about that goal soon because they are taking up my machine.
They are, but we've got two great speakers coming in to talk about it. We've got Christine Garner. She's actually going to be on the show next week, but that'll be after the class. And then on the next day, she's starting a class there at the Innovation Center called Strength-Based Leadership. And so we actually are going to have Christine is going to lead that virtual. If you want to go back to that virtual class, that one is on goal setting. That's on Tuesday, 10:30 to 12. And it will be virtually, and we've got Christine and another guy that's kind of an up-and-comer, just starting a coaching business. His name's Lawrence Stone, and he's going to be doing some coaching in that, talking to people about goal setting in 2023 and how to best do that. So that's a great online webinar. Be sure to check that one out. And then the strength-based leadership class. I can't talk about how cool this class is. It comes with a book that will assess your leadership style and how it is best to lead.
You take a test.
You do take a test.
And you can't fail it.
You can't fail it. You will. It will tell you what is the best things you've done. You've taken this class.
Yeah.
I did too, and it is awesome.
think anyone you got to take it. It's a great class.
She's. I just got off the phone with her, and she's excited. But this class is going to be. It's 3 weeks. 1:30 to 3 at the Innovation Center. $199. That includes the book and the test. And so it's really that's going to be a great class. So if you are in any kind of a leadership role, you need to be looking into that class. Glenn Guzman, sign up. We know I know you missed it last year, and I know we've already got people signed up from development workshops. So pay attention, Glenn Guzman. Get signed up for that. So that's our classes that we have starting this month. So let's talk about what's new.
Yeah, what's new? Tell me. We had a whole meeting. What's that? Oh, don't forget about our sponsors. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Tyson is reminding us.
Let's keep the suspense going for just a little bit here.
Yeah.
So let's talk about our sponsors. BBSI, absolutely.
They've been
phenomenal.
with us from the beginning.
They've been great to work with, and we hope that they continue with us. We're hitting them up again this week to help us out and get things going with in 2023. But 2022, they've been a great sponsor. The SBDC.
Best kept secret in Idaho.
Best kept secret. If your business needs any kind of consulting, check with the IdahoSBDC.org. Idaho Innovation Center. We got some big things happening. We had the last show was on the 20th of December with our kitchen manager, Chef Randy Lords. We got some big things happening there. If you need office space and want to be at the most innovative place in town.
Or if you have need of a commercial commissary kitchen, right? Yeah.
It is launching this month. So we got Volpine Marketing. He keeps us up to date, mostly up to date. Yeah. Some of our timing clocks have been off, and we've had to correct those the last couple of weeks, but he's fixed them all and doing great. And New Line Media, man, he has hooked us up here in this studio and does a great job of producing our show each and every week. The guy is just on it. And if you need any kind of video work,
live stream work, I've referred some business to him and Tyson. It's always great to have friends that you can refer, say with confidence, you know what, you need to talk to Tyson Bolcom.
So. Done the same thing. So Tyson at New Line Media, absolutely phenomenal. We appreciate his work behind the scenes. So let's talk about 2023.
Yeah.
Bring it on. All right, so we're making some changes to the show. We're going to no longer be, as it says there on the screen, Tuesdays at 2.
Yeah.
We're going to be Fridays at
10:10. You
10:10.
just said.
I think we decided we're going to go with something original. 10:10.
Yeah, just thought of that like 10 seconds ago.
But we are going to actually pre-produce our shows, so we're going to change our format just a little bit. We are going to keep the trivia contest, so we will still have those in there.
Glenn can still win, right?
You can still win, and there'll be probably multiple contests to possibly win. We're looking at beefing it up and actually bringing on some treats and taking some treats out. So we're looking for that as a new addition to the show. We're going to be changing up our show just a little bit. We'll have a new studio.
Yeah, which is really sad that we'll be leaving Tyson's bedroom.
So, but we're going to have a new studio at the Idaho Innovation Center. We're in the process of putting it together. That's the reason why we probably won't have shows the last couple weeks of January, in preparation to launching sometime early in February. I'm not sure if it's going to be the first week, but maybe the second week we will be launching. Brand new studio. It's going to have a new chairs, new tables, new greenery probably.
There we go.
We're going to have just a bunch of new stuff. All new technology. And we're excited to get, we're going to kind of evolve the show. We are looking at possibly moving it from being just on YouTube and Facebook to being
a podcast
too. So we're entertaining that this week and entertaining some thoughts of moving it to a podcast format, as well as keeping it on YouTube and Facebook. So these are some of the exciting changes that were happening with Talkin' Business.
Can't wait.
The old TB, Tyler and Brian, look forward to being your guests, continuing to be your guests on the show. So I'm excited. Are you?
Yeah. Because I'm TP and you're BM. Right?
What a combination, TP and BM. Yeah. So that's Tyler Price and Brian Magleby. So,
there we go.
So very good. We are excited for these changes that are going to be happening starting next month. So today's show, we're going to just evolve and just start showing the show what I think was one of our most watched shows in 2022.
Should have been. Yeah.
This guy was amazing. Heath Treasure with Super T Transport. There's a reason why he, I think he sold his company. He's still the CEO, but he sold it to a company out of Europe. But I think it had more zeros than me and you could probably have ever
he
written.
did well. And he's still, but just really approachable, really great guy, really wants to see people chase their dream. Anyway, I thought it was a great show, and I got to, just to be able to meet him and talk with him, it was a win for me.
He's dynamic, and he was just, he just kind of really talked about what it takes to be successful in business. So we encourage you to watch this show. And then we'll be back next week with Christine Garner, the person who is leading that virtual class in the morning, and then we'll have the show Tuesday at 2. Probably be our last show at Tuesday at 2. And then we'll take a few weeks off getting ready for our big launch of Talkin' Business in 2023 in February.
It's going to be a good time. Always a good time.
Always a good time with Tyler and Brian, Talkin' Business. All right. Thanks, everybody. Welcome to 2023. And here's the show with Heath Treasure.
Hello, current and future Super T Transport drivers. Heath Treasure, President and CEO of Super T Transport. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this exciting video announcement that's talking about what we're doing here internally at Super T to become the driver's fleet of choice. Before I start, I want to thank you for your service. You are a true American hero. If America only knew what life would be like without you, serving, driving around the clock to keep our supply chain full. The reason I want you to listen to the clip is because I want you to know that we are working hard internally here to become the driver's fleet of choice. In my last announcement, we shared an increase to detention and layover pay. In this announcement, it's my pleasure to announce a fleet-wide pay increase of 2 cents per mile. It's always been important for us to stay competitive in the driver pay market. We closely evaluate our compensation package against hundreds of other companies to ensure that we are staying competitive. We feel like this cent per mile increase is well deserved for the hard work and dedication you each contribute to our team, and look forward to offering more in the future. Stay tuned for more announcements and to listen to exactly what we are doing here internally to become your fleet of choice.
Well, great. I have a love for trucking because my dad was on the bean counter side. He was a CFO for a trucking line, and I still have his trucks, his toy trucks that he had in his office and stuff. But you started.
Well, I guarantee that truck was not as nice as that truck that has Super T's logo on it.
Theirs were like the flat-faced trucks. I mean, had a camper in the back and stuff. But you started out kind of in a family business. Why don't you just, instead of me sitting here rambling, why don't you kind of tell us how did it start? How did Super T start? And then just kind of the story.
So when I came home from college and decided that wasn't for me, I came home and went to work at a local truck line here in Idaho Falls that was founded by one of the founders was my uncle. Ended up being completely owned by Morgan Edwards, and so I worked for Edwards Brothers for
right here
in Idaho
down
Falls.
the road.
Yeah, right here in Idaho Falls.
Yeah.
Worked for them for nearly a decade. I had various positions. That's where I learned how to drive truck, dispatch, customer service, sales, brokerage, you name it. I did it all there. I was the youngest one in there by probably 25 years.
Wow.
Or 30 years. I worked with a lot of people. That company had been around for 50 years. Yeah. So there was a lot of people that had been there. And they got bought out in 2005, I want to say. Mm-hmm. And by Knight Transportation, which is a publicly traded company. Yeah. Stayed there for a little while, and had some various things that I was involved in, business wise, and some successes and some failures. Yeah. Painful failures, some of them.
Learning, right.
But at the end of the day, my knowledge was in truckload transportation. Yeah. And so right roughly around 2007, ended up getting our transportation authority, which allows you to do truckload transportation in the U.S. and went trucking. And that's basically where the story began.
And in the beginning, it was just you.
Just me, and I was truck driver and first truck driver. Drove back and forth to Indianapolis and back. Still drive truck every once in a while on occasion. A month ago or so,
when the jet's down, then they drive the truck.
Yeah, I would prefer to fly the airplane back and forth to Arizona, but I took a load to Arizona.
Yeah, and it's video. Actually, it's on YouTube.
Yeah, that's right.
You've got
they videoed me when I drove the truck down to Arizona, and I'll do that every once in a while, just to make sure I remember the roots of where it all started.
And trucks have evolved though over the years, right? I mean, there was a time when they were just flat faced, just total drag. I mean, they weren't aerodynamic to what we see today, and they're continuing to improve. What are some of the improvements that you've seen that you enjoy?
Well, I mean, at Edwards Brothers in the late 90s, we'd run trucks up to 700,000 miles, 1 million miles. Yeah. And we run our trucks at Super T to 400,000 miles. So they have a significantly less life cycle in our eyes. Right. And they cost a significant amount more. Yeah. So, but drivers are hard to get. They want newer, nicer trucks. So that's part of it. But with all the emissions and things that go into the trucks now, which cause them to be more expensive, they just, in our eyes, just don't have a useful life after 500,000 miles. So we're not running them as long. There's a lot of technology in them now. You've got the
GPS.
And we can see if a customer calls and wants to know where one of our trucks are, we can click a button and see exactly what our driver's seeing. So we can see a camera out the front of his truck. Yeah. Say, well, this is where he's parked at, or this is where, and it's real time camera in his trucks, forward and backward facing.
GPS to everywhere. Every mile that they go, and
they're all on a GPS. We used to do paper logbooks. That's all through their cell phone or through a pad on the dash of their trucks. Yeah. If you go over the lane, it shuts your music off and tells you that you're going over the lane. So just a lot of new technology compared to what it was in the late 90s when I started driving.
See, I don't want my truck doing that because I'm always going over the lane just driving normal. So anyway, but it's good. I'm sure it's good because you don't want them falling asleep. I mean, there's a lot of liability in this too. But
a lot of liability.
But you started as a one-person guy, and then was there someone that mentored you around? Because a lot of people will get in and start making a living and just grind. you went a different route where you did acquisition to grow your business at some point.
Yeah.
So tell us about
You know,
that. What happened there to make you say, man, I want to grow this thing?
You know, I've never not worked since I was old enough to deliver newspapers.
Yeah.
So I've always been, I've always had a job. I've always found ways to make more money than the newspaper company wanted to pay me by offering different service. Sometimes I'd do different things, but the question about mentors is I've had many mentors.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as I've traveled down my road to where I'm at today. There's definitely things that I would do differently. You know, a work-life balance. Do you want to be a multimillionaire? Well, I think looking back now, I could do it a little bit differently and be a little bit better at balancing my work life and my home life.
We all unfortunately fall into that sometimes.
But yeah, multiple mentors. But the really big thing, I had somebody was interviewing me the other day, and I'm on a mission. You know, we'll get to where Super T is at today, but I've got a new mission this year, and I'm on a mission to pass the message to new aspiring businessmen that you can become a millionaire, or a multimillionaire, or whatever that success level is that you want, the old-fashioned blue-collar way. Yeah. Still, this everybody wants to get rich quick, and they want to do it through some quick technology idea or some invention, which I'm not saying is a bad way, but I really think the country has lost face with the fact that blue collar wealth is still exists. Still possible here, and that, you know, from driving truck to where we're at now is blue collar as blue collar as it gets.
But the trucking now, like pay wise, what these guys can get, and then really open their eyes to building their own line, right? I mean, the opportunity. Yeah, I own a trade school too, and it's like, you know, this is a path to a 6-figure income. From there to level up, it's a whole different world. But someone can get to a 6-figure income as a truck driver. I don't know what they were paying back when my dad was running IML, but yeah, truck drivers now. I'm like telling kids that hate high school and hate. Well, do you want to drive a truck? Because man, trucking is not going away. Is that
plus you get to see the country too. I had a guy that sold his business for $2 million, and he went to truck driving and just so he could see the country and stuff. So.
Yeah, and we have a handful of drivers that are in a ton of drivers that are in, you know, making 6 figures. The wages are significantly up, but any business you want to get into, and I don't think I could have grown my business if I couldn't see through the lenses of the people that were working for me. Yeah. The majority of the staff that works for me are truck drivers, and you've got to be able to understand all the different dynamics of a business that you want to build and grow and turn into being successful. Really have to understand how those people are treated, what they're seeing through their lenses. You know, that's based on my experiences. I'm not saying my avenue's the only avenue, but I really feel like you need to be able to have a good understanding of all aspects of any successful business.
So in 2005 you started with, when did you start? 2007?
2007-ish is when we got our authority.
Right,
so about 15 years.
Yeah, beginning of the economy crunch there. So not a good easy time. But tell us how you've kind of grown the business up to kind of where it's at now. So I mean,
look, first of all, you get up and you go to work every day, and you work hard.
Some people don't realize that.
That's a big part of it.
I think people see whatever it is that I have, that they, you know, are envious of, whether it's a nice car, whether it's the fact that I get to enjoy flying airplanes, whatever it is, and they don't get to see all the blue collar hard work that goes into that. And so there's a lot that goes into it, but the most important thing, and I try to make sure my kids understand this, is failure is mandatory on the road to success. I mean, we could have a whole podcast on all the bruised knees and the black eyes, not only that I've gotten in business. You know, I've essentially been broke before. That I've
received in business. And at the time when those things are happening, you think it's the end of the world. But looking back on it now, the comforts and luxuries I have now, I wouldn't be where I'm at today if I didn't overcome those challenges and those black eyes. And so, an aspiring businessman, and I'm probably getting sidetracked. I can't remember your question, but an aspiring.
Where you're at now. So you're going to tell us where you're going to where you're at.
Aspiring businessman needs to understand that failure is a necessity to be able to get to.
Every failure gets you closer to the big success.
And you learn from it. You've got to learn from that failure, and that's what helps build you into a good decision maker and a good CEO of a good organization.
Yeah.
So I know in the picture we have here is a Super T and a Miller Brothers, and I'm familiar with the Miller Brothers company out of Logan.
Yep.
And so talk about that. So you grew it up until last couple of years, and then you acquired them.
We were just shy of 100 trucks or about 100 trucks, and I think it's been about, I want to say it's been about 5 years ago. I became friends with the owner of Miller Brothers Express in Utah. They've been around for 30, 40 years.
Yep.
In fact,
Great company.
when I was little, I used to see their trucks had really cool black and gold trucks and black trailers.
Yep.
And I was always envious of their truck line and their fleet. Yep. But long story short, we negotiated a deal. I ended up acquiring Miller Brothers Express about 5 years ago, roughly. And
trucks,
trailers, their entire book of business, their staff. We folded them into our organization, and it really gave us a good shot in the arm. He wanted to retire. Still a really good friend of mine.
Yeah.
We talk pretty regularly. And then about 3 years ago, we acquired another truck line that was down in Phoenix, Arizona. And every acquisition has a learning lesson, and you don't really know what that learning lesson is going to be until you get into it. Eyeballs and elbows.
Yeah.
But all of them were really great learning lessons, and it built our truck line up to where it is today, which is right around 200 trucks and 350 trailers roughly.
Wow. And they're all in the reefers.
All in the refrigerated space. We've always focused on primarily perishable foods, so we haul a lot of ingredients that go into Chobani yogurt, for example, or sliced cheese, or meat, or beef, potatoes, a lot of potatoes, a lot of French fries for Five Guys Burgers and Fries, or Rick Miles Produce here in town, but a lot of food grade perishable type products.
So what are you loving about the business right now? Because you were telling us cool stuff, and I don't know what we should talk about or shouldn't talk about, but what is it that because you, again, starting with one truck, you figured out, wow, to really grow it, I can keep grinding here, or I can acquire. Acquire comes with costs and headaches at times, right? Yeah. Everything comes with headaches. But what are you loving about what's been built?
Look, it's pretty hard to love the trucking business when the fuel is as high as it is right now.
Yeah, that's a whole nother topic.
And I want to come back to that topic.
We'll come back to that. But listen, the relationships that I built, not only with our trading partners and our employees, are second to none. Yeah. I mean, I often say that there's not one person that built our business. It was a team of people, whether it was the truck drivers or the guys in the shop servicing the trucks, or the dispatchers or the accounting people. I have been so fortunate to surround myself with people that are way better than me, and have really made it so.
But it takes the leader to get them all on board. I'll tell you that. So.
Well, yeah. I mean that. I don't mind leading, but you've got to find talent. Surround yourself.
If you don't have that
talent.
It's all the people. It's all the people. Sure. So you brought up fuel. Okay. So I'm hearing, and maybe it's just because today's voting day, that we have 15 days of diesel in the United States of America. What's the reality of that? But for sure we've seen the price go up. That definitely affects you. But what's the reality of the diesel shortage?
Well, if you don't like the price at the pump, you probably should get out and vote today.
Yeah.
But
well said on voting day.
We won't get too sidetracked on that discussion. But our fuel vendor is the largest fuel vendor across the nation that we have contract negotiations with. the fuel shortage is something to be concerned with and keep an eye on. But the vendor that we negotiate with, and a lot of people in my industry buy fuel futures and they have reserves. They have millions and millions of dollars of reserves. Up in the Northeast, it seems to be a little bit of a problem. But overall, the reserves that they have are different than the reserves that the United States has.
Yeah.
And they have a significant amount of reserves. I think we'll be just fine at making sure food gets on the shelves. And they'll cut down. The problem is they'll cut down the regular consumer before they shut their truck lines down.
Because what would happen if truck lines were shut down?
It would be our whole
Grocery
world
would be empty.
Our whole world would stop.
It would stop.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at the world, a little bumblebee. If we don't have those little bumblebees, think of what would happen. I mean, trucking, same thing. Because everything we do, especially now, how consumers buy things. If we don't have our truck lines, so maybe it sounds like it is an issue, but it sounds like politicians maybe are talking it up a little bit.
I think the news outlet, the news media, it's a serious issue that we got to keep an eye on. But I think it's probably a little bit bigger of an issue in the national media than what we're facing. But the fuel.
But it does scare you.
It's a concern. The fuel cost is a bigger concern.
Yeah.
We're paying more for fuel right now. We start tracking the DOE fuel in 1995, and we track it. We have algorithms and dashboards that we track it. We haven't paid as much for fuel in the truckload transportation business since they started tracking in 1995.
Wow.
So it's as high as it's ever been. And you're the one paying for it, really, at the end of the day. I mean, I'm feeling it, but you're really feeling it when you're buying groceries on the shelf.
And it definitely shows, right? Yeah. And it's like, I'm not going to sit here and point fingers, but if you let industry run it, we will take care of it, right? So you've also mentioned that you're in the trailer space, and that sounds like a cool space. But before we maybe let you talk about that, what about some of these disruptors like Elon Musk, who's trying to build these electric trucks, and then you had Nikola down in Utah trying to do it a little differently. Are those things that you look at? Are those things that you feel would be something that you'll be able to benefit from?
I think we're probably a good decade away from them being having a viable presence in the market space that we're in. Our trucks are running round the clock. Yeah. We're putting 150,000 miles a year on those trucks. Right. Some of those trucks that we have are getting even 30,000 miles a month. So I do think it's something to keep an eye on. I would never bet against Elon Musk. No. I mean, he
on or against, right?
On or against, yeah. And I think it will have a space in our industry. But I think we're a little ways from the self-driving trucks and the electric trucks. Yeah.
Definitely. As we do on all of our shows, we ask them to give them some advice for some of the entrepreneurs out there, and I'm just going to read. Got 5 or 6 points here that I thought was just crucial. And so, entrepreneurs, listen up there. What a legacy this guy has built, going from one truck, 2007, to over 200 of them now, and 350 trailers. But here's some advice that he gives. Learn to not fear failure, and that's a crucial thing for all entrepreneurs, and he's hit on that a few times. Figure out a balance that allows important parts of your life to remain in the forefront, which he's talked on once again. Pave your own path that has its own flavor. Absolutely great advice. You might even trademark that. That's a great little saying there. Push yourself and staff to be better daily, and look at obstacles as opportunities. Stay grounded. And that's just phenomenal advice to the entrepreneurs out there. So
absolutely.
And I'm sure that you've had some mentors that have taught you those things as well.
Everybody's got their own sayings. I've either picked some up from people that I like, or I've come up with some of my own things that I quote to my staff and try to keep them motivated. But it's success is not easy. Starting from one truck to growing it to where it is today, and then selling it to a Red Bull owned company or a partially Red Bull owned company.
So that's the latest news here is that
and
that's cool stuff. Tell us a little bit about, because are you going to drive a Formula One car? That's my bigger question.
I can only hope. So I can only hope. But
so Super T, talk to us about
As the years have gone on, I've been involved in multiple businesses. So I have a portfolio of businesses that we own, and that I can still continue to own as well. So you mentioned that, but Super T specifically, the truck line. About a year ago, there was some communication from one of our customers, Red Bull, the energy drink people, and it's actually a company that a truck line in Europe that they're partial owners of. So had reached out and said, hey, we've been asked by the board of directors to pick someone up like you in the U.S. and so fast forward those long negotiations and conversations along. We've been acquired this year. It was on Yahoo National News, Yahoo Finance. You can Google it and read all about it. But we've been acquired by a partially owned Red Bull company, and
exciting.
Are hauling more Red Bull than I can drink.
How much Red Bull can America drink?
They drop ship it to our offices by the pallet. It's more Red Bull than I ever could have thought of drinking. But the exciting thing is our opportunity right here in Southeast Idaho to be involved with the Red Bull Motorsports division. So Red Bull Motorsports, which is Formula One, KTM, so on and so forth, we're in the process of building an events division that will be serving as their transportation line for some of their facilities at the Formula One races. And about 95% of the crew, which is a pretty good sized crew, 21 trucks that'll go in there, and then the construction crew will all originate right here in Southeast Idaho, go down and build those facilities for them in the Formula One racing.
Wow, that's great opportunity that you're helping to bring to Southeast Idaho. So I just think, and I like cars, so but to drive a Formula One car, there is a lot of training that goes into that. It's not like driving a regular car. I've never done the training. But
I think I seen on YouTube that those things cost like $12 million a piece. So I don't know much. Red Bull is Red Bull, and I'm just out here. We're just happy to have an opportunity to
partner with such a great company.
To partner and handle their transportation and setup of some of their events at here in the U.S. and hopefully Mexico and
Right.
Wow.
Awesome.
Well, what a legacy. I think that's a great word that you're building here. You built a phenomenal company here with Super T Transport. And there's other things. Like you said, you've got your hands in a few other things.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about trailers that much.
Yeah,
and are the other things. But
he's got his hands in a lot of different things. But man, I hope that the entrepreneurs that are watching the show are paying attention. That you, through doing hard work, you can be just like a Heath Treasure here, and have a successful, growing business. Is there anything else that you want people to know about Super T Transport, the trailers, the Formula One, Red Bull, anything that you want more to know about?
First and foremost, I'd be remiss if I didn't put a little plug in there and mention that if you're looking into a career as an over-the-road truck driver, you want to get in the transportation business, I encourage you to come talk to us. I feel like we've got a lot to offer, the over-the-road truckload transportation.
Pay-wise, truck-wise, in the country. Yeah,
brand new trucks, opportunities to get involved in the Red Bull network since we're partially owned by them, and in the the Red Bull event setup, just opportunities galore. Come talk to us, and then as far as what else do I have to say? Look, when I talk to people, they only want to talk about my success and not the failures. I can assure you that there are a lot more failures to talk about than the success story.
Yeah.
So keep your chin up. Don't get down and out when you start getting hit with failures, because I can tell you that if you continue on the road and power through and just get up the old blue collar way and work hard, success is out there for you.
Yeah.
It comes through good work ethic and perseverance.
Yeah.
If you don't believe that you can be a blue collar, one day and be a multimillionaire, down the road, if you put your heart and mind to it, then you can do it. So very, very good. Thank you for being on our show and sharing your entrepreneurism with the people here in Idaho. Talk to us about this quote that you have here.
So I don't know if I butchered this from somebody else that said it, and I've added my own stuff to it. But it it echoes a lot of the things that I talk to anybody about that wants advice from me. But it's failure is not the end, but only a curve or a bump in the long road to success. Exactly what I talked about on your podcast. I really truly believe in that. If the first bump I ran into, or the first time I thought I was going to get financially wiped out, if I called that the end of the road, we wouldn't be here talking today.
Nope.
So it's just a speed bump in the long road to success. That's really how I feel.
Very good. Well, love that. That is a great quote there. So we appreciate you being here on the show. We're going to transition right into a great training topic today about attitudes is everything. So we've got. So let's just talk about this, and we've got a great, cool little video that I found. We're going to be doing some of these. I found this the thing called Successories, and it's one of their books, and they are going to be, and we're going to be talking about them over the next, through the end of the year. I've got things planned out for that. But attitude is everything. And we're going to watch a video out at the end of this that kind of talks about if the show doesn't pump you up to be a super entrepreneur, this video I guarantee will. So let's go through this. Attitudes are contagious. Is yours catching? Number one, wait to worry. If you focus all on that, you're just going to go down the drain of failure. But you just past every failure is your next opportunity for success.
I think I learned this later in life, because now something happens that maybe I should be worrying about. I just don't freaking care. It's going to work itself out, right?
No reason to worry about it.
But worry just causes stress.
Yep.
So
keep an attitude of gratitude, and just like Keith here today has talked about how he couldn't have grown his business to being what it is without his staffing, and you got to just always be grateful for those people that help get you and help you on the road to success of a business.
Your health is your wealth. I get up every morning at 6 a.m. not because I like to, but because that's the time that I have for me. And I go walk the greenbelt. And it doesn't matter if it snowed while I was in bed. And I do it year round because these little grannies shame me into it. I was like, hey, so when do you guys go into because you see the same people, right? When do you go into the gym? And these little grannies are like, why would you go into the gym? You just put more clothes on and get down here. And I'll say that advice they gave me was to stay at the greenbelt.
Yeah.
It is, and it helps my health physically, but mentally it gets me in the game too.
It does. And
So.
then you
My green smoothies are growth, but man, they make you feel good. So
Yep. Joy boomerangs, and I kind of wondering what this was going on, but do something for someone else. I thought that was a really good thing, and you're going to learn about this in the video. But do something for someone else. The good you do boomerangs back to you, and there's no better way to make yourself feel better than to give service to someone else. So.
Yep. Learn to say no. I mean, I think sometimes people are always get asked to do things that maybe they shouldn't be involved in. And then it takes away from, because you talked about work-life balance. There's probably stories behind that. I got them too, right? But sometimes you need to say no.
It was one of the best things I did is I set this as a New Year's goal is I needed to start saying no more often. And I'll tell you, my happiness and my attitude went off the charts by just saying no to some things. So it's a great principle. Understand the power of discipline. You can't build any kind of successful business without being disciplined. Is that right?
That's true.
You haven't done it by living on the sidelines.
Right.
Well, number 7, you've already spoke to it, but let's have Heath talk to that a little bit.
So number 7 is surround yourself with positive people. The results are completely driven by positivity. I mean, some of our biggest challenges, and we at my businesses have challenges every day, and those challenges are so much easier to overcome. You can keep your chin up and put a smile on your face.
People want to be around positive people. If you just think of people in your life, the ones that you really want to be around are the people that have a good positive outlook on life. And so great 7 bits of advice. This you got to stay tuned to watch this video after at the end of the show. That just kind of will buoy you up about having the right type of attitude. So next week on the show we have Dan Beck. I got off the phone with him just confirming everything before this show. CEO of TextWire, a phenomenally growing company. You know, I ran onto this guy. I was actually buying a snowmobile from him a couple weeks ago, and I said, "Man, I've been wanting to get you on the show." And he's like, "Yeah, I'd love to be on the show." And so he's grown a heck of a business here.
So Dan's a friend of mine, and he has a twin brother, and I can't tell them apart. So if I'm somewhere, I always and me and his brother
Mark?
don't. Yeah, Mark. I don't know his brother at all,
Yeah,
really.
I met him when I bought
So
a snowmobile.
whenever I like walk in and see him, I'm like, I always look at him, and then if it's Dan, hey Tyler, and if it's Mark, then it's like he doesn't know me. So then I just go about my business.
Anyway,
so.
built this. I was talking to him about some of the success, but man, he has built a heck of a company, and we're going to learn all about it next week with TextWire. Following week, let's see here. That's the 15th and the 22nd. Oh, we got two. We're going to have a double show on the 22nd. 22nd, two.
There you go.
We got two guests on the 22nd. We got a guy that is the number 4 bull rider in the world.
Yeah.
He's going to the NFR in December. Garrett Smith from Rexburg, Idaho. He's going to be a guest.
That's a cool guest.
Yeah. He's a phenomenal. He started a nonprofit, and he's going to be here to talk about some things that he's doing with that on the 22nd. Plus, we have Dutch from Action Motorsports. So Action Motorsports. It's his father-in-law that owns it, but he's kind of the manager of it. Dutch will be on the show. He's had some challenges in life, went through some cancer, and we're going to talk to him all about how Action Motorsports, what a great business here in Eastern Idaho is. And then on the
some
29th,
bull power and some horsepower.
That's right, bull power and horsepower. Yeah. I love it. Maybe that's how we'll title the show. And then on the 29th, we're going to be out to the Mountain America. We've got Rob from...
I can't wait to get in there, yeah.
It is going to be a great thing on the 29th, and we've got shows lined up just like that through December. So we're excited to this ball rolling with the Talkin-Business. Thank you, Heath. We wish you the best. Continued growth and continued success with Super T and all your other adventures.
Thanks for having me, guys. Yeah. It was good discussion.
Very good. Let's give away our... we got to give this away.
Yeah, if we didn't, I was taking it home.
Yeah, I know you were. So look at this awesome Super T truck here. I guarantee any kid out there would want this for Christmas. Yeah. This being under the Christmas tree. So let's ask a trivia question. Can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
I got one. Originally, the company that he started working for here, and it was a family, part of his family that he worked for here in Idaho Falls on the corner of Holmes and Anderson. A great company that I'll say that they sold out to Night Transportation. But what was the name of the original company? Put my cell phone number up there if you would, Tyson, and text me if you can come up with the name of the original trucking company that he worked for as a youth, right out of college.
Yep.
Here in Idaho Falls, what was the name of that trucking company here in Head? For the first person to text me, you're going to have a great little Super T truck for you. So, all right. So very good. Thanks for tuning in to Talkin' Business. Give us a thumbs up, Heath. We end the show with a thumbs up every week. Thanks, everybody. Have a great week.